Now it's now in the right position for fixing onto the sockets at the bottom, and of course you see how close to the top hoop that you know it's being held against the wall by the man on the floor. Very important that the man on the floor is you've got his whole concentration all the time. You know, that's why it's better using an older man than a younger man who has a tendency to wander off looking at ladies' skirts and things like that. Because if he disappears, you fall off. That's the setting ladder up, and that's what it's all about. Well, almost up. This method of laddering factory chimneys is quite a recent sort of invention, you know, like 1870s period. A bit before then, they actually flew kites to get string across the tops of chimneys, you know, a right weird situation. I think when they were, you know, the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, when they started to erect chimney stacks, nobody gave it a great deal of thought as to how they were going to get up there to repair the things, because of course they were all built from the inside, more or less right from the beginning of building fairly large ones to building the really monstrous things that there are today at power stations. Like the early ones, you know, 1820s, were only like 60 and 50 feet high, and of course, you know, they could build them with a conventional scaffold round the outside, because they were of no great girth, you know. To circumnavigate the wall of that chimney, which might be 60 odd feet circumference with scaffolding, is going to cost a heck of a lot of money, you know. That's why I think steeplejacks have still got still earn a crust of bread, you know. It is one of the good and reliable ways of getting up there, you know. Basically, having got the second ladder up, you've more or less conquered it in a way, how you actually do the job. The thing is, you just keep repeating the process, 9 rungs from the top, 2 lashings on the bottom and 2 dogs, and up it comes, and all as you're up there with is your hammer, your chisel, the plug wood, and the end of the pulley wheel and the rope. The important thing not to do is let the rope run through the block and go tumbling down, which means that you've got to come down and get the end of the rope and carry the thing up, which 200 foot of hemp rope is fairly heavy, and by the time you've got back to the top with it, you're getting a bit out of breath. The other thing is, the higher up you get and the harder it gets, you know, because of course the guy at the bottom has got to pull the ladder up further, and you've got to send the end of the rope down further. You know, so the progression towards the top as you get higher it slows down a bit. This basically is an inspection to give a quote for any forthcoming repairs that need sorting out. Over the years, the first job I ever did were above the collar, the 10 feet of brickwork above the collar. I put some new iron bands round and pointed it all, and a new lightning conductor rod. Then on subsequent visits, I pointed all the panel work round the top 30 feet. And now from the sailing course below that to below the green and white banded area of tile bricks, it's badly in need of pointing, so I'm going to give them an estimate to do that. That's a bit of old-time steeplejack's plug wood, you know. Him who knocked that in there will be dead and gone. without a doubt. Quite rotten, you know. These patches I pointed up, they were some very poor quality steeplejacks damaged the brickwork, you know, didn't know how to work an hammer and chisel. It's always policy to leave the ladders there until you've come to the financial arrangement with the management about whether they're going to have it done or not, which saves you having to put the ladders up again. The thing is that having secured the contract, if we're going to do it, we've then got to put what's termed as a staging round the top. Hear it how it's addled hollow, you know. It's a shame, really. Getting near the top, it's always like that, you know. I think this time a few iron bands might be called for, you know, to screw it together a bit. A bit of me pointing come out up there on them big copings. Can you see it? 6 inches off the lightning conductor. Not bad that though, it's a long time since I did it. Some of them are loose. it's a trifle huddled around that area. I don't think the full 9-inch headers, they're only halves, you know. Well, an header is a brick on end, like that should be. But I don't think it is. They wouldn't sound as hollow if it were a full 9-inch brick going in. It's only half of one, I think. I'm only surmising. These are my dog holes that support my scaffold when I'm putting the scaffolding up. When you sat on top of there, like king of the castle, the view used to be quite interesting in this area. There were numerous collieries, the last of which disappeared a few months ago, and lots of mill chimneys, and I think you can see about 4 left now out of all of them, out of dozens and dozens. Not very far away there's the parish church of Atherton, which has got a distinct list on it through the mining subsidence. Well, that's it now. We've nearly conquered it. The north face of the Eiger.